odds of winning the 2019 Rugby World Cup. I did a video on this when it was 1 year out from the Rugby World Cup. There's been a whole lot of rugby since then, and we are now closer to about the 1 week mark. So I thought, let's revisit these odds, see where everybody is at the moment, see how things have shifted, and yeah, you guys can let me know your thoughts on how true you think these standings lie. I will work my way up from the bottom, and when I did these odds about a year ago, this is using a New Zealand bookmaker, by the way, and I should put a quick caveat out there that bookies odds are definitely designed to make money rather than be accurate predictions. So that's the purpose of bookies odds. They make money from people punting on sports. That's how that works. So kind of take them with a grain of salt, but it is a general indication of where people's confidence lies, because the odds will be adjusted as people put money on their teams. These are New Zealand bookmakers, like I say, but there's not that much variation from bookie to bookie throughout the world. England's ones tend to, have England, they're slightly stronger favorites, New Zealand, that kind of thing. But yeah, let's have a look at these odds, work our way up from the bottom, and you guys can let me know your thoughts. So there's 10 teams equal at the bottom. Half of the teams at the Rugby World Cup are pretty much given no shot at all, and I have converted these odds into a percentage in case you're not particularly fond of a bit of gambling on sports. So basically look at this as the bookie's chance of success of the bet. So I've listed them as everyone else, but it is Canada, Fiji, Georgia, Italy, Namibia, Russia, Samoa, Tonga, USA, and Uruguay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is indeed 10 teams. And they have a 0.15% chance of winning the Rugby World Cup, according to the New Zealand bookmakers, which, if you want it in the betting terms, is 501 to 1. So if you bet $1 and they win it, you'll get $500 back. Profit. 501 back with $1 that you originally bet down. So interesting that when I did this video a year ago, they did have some of the teams at higher levels than others. They didn't even have Namibia on the list when I looked a year ago. They had like Russia slightly below the likes of Tonga and Samoa, but for now, about a week out, they've lumped all these guys together. Slightly better in that, 10th favorite, according to the bookies, is Japan, the home team, and they are given a 0.54% of a chance of winning the Rugby World Cup. So not much chance at all, but still actually a fair bit better than everyone else that I've already said. So I guess that's that home advantage. A few people chucking a few bucks on Japan to do something interesting. Up from them, there are 2 teams equal on 8th, so 2 teams on the same, so we won't have a 9th. Argentina and Scotland on 2.4%. I would imagine that these teams, not that favoured. I suppose Scotland away from home, potentially that's not their favourite thing to do. And Argentina, despite some good form in Super Rugby, their international team hasn't exactly been setting things on fire. So 2.4%. Again, that's miles better than everybody else. It's about 5 times better than Japan. So yeah, and interestingly, a year ago, Scotland was still 8th, so nothing's changed there, and Argentina were actually 9th, so they've slightly improved. Again, perhaps on the back of some Super Rugby form with New Zealand punters. 7th is France on 3.11%. Again, not heavily favoured. France at a Rugby World Cup, you really never know, so I suppose if you're looking at it from a betting perspective, those aren't too bad odds. 6th, they were ranked about a year ago, so not much change there. They're actually falling slightly out of favour with the punters. 6th spot goes to Australia. They are given a 6.22% chance of winning the Rugby World Cup. So again, not heavily favoured. A year ago, they were 4th. So definitely, again, another team on the downward slope. I guess that's been a trend with them, in the last couple of years of Michael Cheika's reign. So again, kind of like France, a team that at Rugby World Cup, you do never know. But on recent form, they would seem like a wee bit of a long shot. 5th is Wales on 8.18%. They are up slightly from the same time last year, or at least from 1 year out from the World Cup. Yeah, so pretty much same time last year. They were 6th equal last time, so slightly more confidence perhaps on the back of that Six Nations result, being number 1 in the world for a couple of weeks. But yeah, still not in the top 3. Ireland are in 4th, given a 9% chance of winning if you're looking at the betting odds. Down actually from a year out. If you remember, a year out they were kind of flying high. They were the number 2 favoured team to win the Rugby World Cup, but now down to 4th. I guess Six Nations loss, recent loss to England, pretty heavy one, probably a factor in that as well. South Africa are 3rd with 14.73% chance. Again, up. Kind of the opposite of the Aussies under Checker. The South Africans under Rassie are definitely on an upward swing. 5th at the same time last year, up 2 spots. England are in 2nd, and you got to remember, people always mention it, in terms of population, England's got one of the biggest betting bases, so a lot of English, and that includes English people in New Zealand, of which there are quite a few, will put a few bucks on England to win it, just because that's their team. So their numbers tend to always be a wee bit higher, but they're also up 1 spot from last year. 16.36% chance. 3rd last year, like I said. They're paying, if you want it in the actual betting, it's $5 to win. So you bet $1, you get $5 back. And lastly, New Zealand still remain top of the log in terms of the predictions or the betting odds. Same as last year, 36.34% chance the bookies are giving you to get your money back if you bet on the All Blacks. So that's betting odds of 2.25, so $2.25. But yeah, it is an interesting one. It just, I guess, shows that might even be a better indication of the recent rankings, more like a power rankings than the official world rankings. This is just general confidence rankings. New Zealand are still seen as the team to beat. England are a team on the up. South Africa are a team on the up. Ireland slipping slightly, but still one of the contenders. Likewise with Wales, slightly on the up after a good run. But again, perhaps that World Cup history, people not making them an absolute contender, even if we know they are. History's not on their side. Australia on a downward swing, all this kind of stuff. You guys let me know your thoughts. How true do these rankings ring to you? Is there any team you would be keen to put a few dollars on if you think they might be doing something? I believe I've got a couple of bucks on Wales and a couple of bucks on somebody else just to have a wee flutter. I think I bet on Wales about a year ago. And I don't know, it might be looking like a decent bet. I would never bet more than a few dollars. But hey, gamble responsibly if you are going to gamble. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later. Remember guys, if you haven't figured out how you're going to watch the Rugby World Cup, it is free, live streaming and on demand on ITV's Hub. You do have to be in the UK, so if you're not in the UK, like me in New Zealand or anywhere else in the world, use ExpressVPN, select one of the UK servers and jump onto ITV. You can watch the games that way. There's a link in the description for ExpressVPN. It includes a discount code. Enjoy the rugby guys.